Ever feel like your relationship is a battleground? Like you're constantly negotiating who has the upper hand? You're not alone. And according to one of history's most provocative thinkers, that's exactly what love is supposed to be. I'm talking about Friedrich Nietzsche, the philosopher with the magnificent mustache who saw through our romantic bullshit over a century ago. Whether you're swiping through dating apps or struggling in a long-term relationship, Nietzsche's brutal take on love might be exactly what you need to hear. Forget the flowers and candy. Today, we're diving into why this 19th century philosopher believed romance is fundamentally a power struggle, and why understanding this might actually save your love life. The love delusion. Let's be honest. We've all been fed a fairy tale about love. Find the one, fall madly in love, live happily ever after. Nietzsche would call this exactly what it is. Complete bullshit. Love is the state in which man sees things most decidedly as they are not. Nietzsche wrote. Sound familiar? How many times have you or your friends ignored glaring red flags because you were in love? What Nietzsche understood is that romantic love isn't some pure, noble emotion. It's biological and psychological warfare dressed up in pretty clothes. And the first casualty is always truth. Think about it. When you're crushing hard on someone, are you really seeing them, or are you seeing what you want to see? Most of us are guilty of projecting our fantasies onto others, then being shocked, when they turn out to be actual humans with flaws. Here's where it gets uncomfortable. Nietzsche believed that love and greed are essentially the same instinct with different names. Mind-blowing, right? Greed and love. What different feelings these two terms evoke, he wrote. Nevertheless, it could be the same instinct that has two names. The difference? Those who already possess call it greed when others want something. Those who desire call their wanting love to make it sound noble. Be honest. When you say, I love you, how often does it really mean, I want you to be mine? That feeling when someone you're dating starts seeing other people? That's not heartbreak. That's your ownership being threatened. Next time you're feeling jealous, ask yourself, am I upset because I care about this person or because I think of them as my possession? Brutal, but necessary. Now, this is where Nietzsche gets controversial as hell. He believed men and women play entirely different games in relationships. According to Nietzsche, the true man wants two things, danger and play. For that reason, he wants woman as the most dangerous plaything. Ouch! He argued that men approach love as conquerors, seeking to possess and control. Women, in his view, surrender completely to love, but not without strategy. Women are much more personal and objective, he wrote. In other words, women master the art of appearance and performance in love. They become what men want them to be. Before you dismiss this as 19th century sexism, think about how much of dating culture still follows these patterns. How many men pursue conquest? How many women shape themselves to be desirable? The game is rigged, and Nietzsche was just pointing out the rules. If you think Nietzsche had a cynical view of romance, wait until you hear what he thought about marriage. Nietzsche believed marrying for love is fundamentally idiotic. Love is temporary, but marriage is, supposedly, forever. It's like buying a house because you like the decoration, ignoring the foundation. When entering into a marriage, one ought to ask oneself, do you believe you're going to enjoy talking with this woman up into your old age? Everything else in marriage is transitory. That's some pragmatic advice that most dating coaches wouldn't dare tell you. Instead of love, Nietzsche suggested two alternative foundations for marriage: friendship and, controversially, the potential to produce exceptional children, not exactly hearts and flowers, but maybe more sustainable than the roller coaster of romantic passion. At its core, Nietzsche saw relationships as battles for dominance. In every interaction, someone is exercising power, and someone is submitting to it. Even acts of kindness or sacrifice can be power moves. Think about your current or past relationships. Who makes the decisions? Who compromises more? Who decides when you have sex? These aren't just preferences, they're expressions of power. The person who cares less always has more power. The one who says, I love you, first hands over leverage. The one who can walk away holds a trump card. This isn't cynicism, it's reality. But here's the twist. Nietzsche didn't think this power struggle was necessarily bad. In fact, He saw it as essential for growth. What does not kill me makes me stronger wasn't just a cool quote for Instagram. It was his philosophy of life and love. Friendship over romance. Here's where Nietzsche gets surprisingly wholesome. Despite his cynicism about romantic love, he placed enormous value on friendship, especially in marriage. The best friend will probably acquire the best wife, because a good marriage is founded on the talent for friendship. This is perhaps his most practical relationship advice. Marry someone you genuinely like talking to, not just someone who gives you butterflies. True friendship for Nietzsche wasn't about comfort or convenience. Great friends challenge each other, inspire each other to grow. If you want a friend, you must also be willing to wage war for him, he wrote. Apply this to your relationships. Are you and your partner pushing each other to be better? Or are you just providing comfort? Comfort feels good, but growth builds something lasting. So where does this leave us? If love is delusion, marriage is pragmatism, and all relationships are power struggles, should we just give up? Not according to Nietzsche. His point wasn't to abandon love, but to see it clearly. Only by recognizing the game can we play it consciously, or choose to play a different game altogether. Here's a liberation in Nietzsche's harsh truth. You're free to define love on your own terms. You don't have to promise forever. You don't have to possess or be possessed. You can create relationships based on mutual growth rather than mutual dependency. The higher we soar, the smaller we appear to those who cannot fly, Nietzsche wrote. Perhaps the same is true of love. The more we elevate our understanding of it, the less it resembles the fairy tales we've been told. Let's get practical. How do we use Nietzsche's insights in our everyday relationships? First, be honest about what you want. If you're seeking possession, admit it. If you're playing a role, acknowledge it. Self-deception is the enemy of authentic connection. Second, question your jealousy. Is it really about love, or is it about ownership? One leads to growth, the other to misery. Third, build relationships on friendship and challenge rather than comfort and security. Seek partners who make you stronger, not just happier. Finally, embrace the struggle. Conflict isn't the end of love. It's often the beginning of something deeper. As Nietzsche might say, what doesn't kill your relationship makes it stronger. The beautiful struggle. In the end, Nietzsche's vision of love isn't really cynical, it's liberating. By stripping away the fairy tales and false promises, he offers us something more valuable. Love is a creative force rather than a comfortable prison. The essence of all love is self-giving, Nietzsche wrote. But not self-giving as sacrifice or submission. Self-giving is a joyful expression of one's own power and potential. Perhaps the real power move in relationships isn't controlling the other person, but mastering yourself. Not demanding security, but embracing uncertainty. Not seeking to possess, but having the courage to set free. The next time you're caught in relationship drama, ask yourself, what would Nietzsche do? The answer might not be comfortable, but it will certainly be authentic. And in a world of relationship games and dating profiles designed to impress, authenticity might be the most revolutionary power move of all.